Let's talk about raising funds for a CPG company when you don't have a product or what you need to do. As Shadi explained, he was able to raise something like 170 or some odd amount of money without any product, without even prototype. How was he able to do that? Because people believed in him. And he was credible because his father, older gentleman, I have interviewed his father. We've spent time in due diligence with one another, and it's fantastic. His father is a delightful person. I hope he listens to this. Mr. Tassi and Shadi were a team, and between the two, they had domain expertise doing loose leaf yerba mate, and domain expertise is important. If you don't have a product and it's not already selling, you got to give investors confidence that you know how to figure that out, that you've already been in the space, that you have experience, you've already worked on the problem, or you have enough of a name that you have social proof that whatever problems come your way, you know how to pick up the phone if someone will take your call to fix it, or you have the experience to solve those problems because you built it for another company. You know what it's like to work at Coca-Cola. You know what it's like to take a startup and sell it to Coca-Cola. I don't care what it is, but they had enough domain expertise and previous experience, and they were obsessed with presenting it and explaining this is the gap in the marketplace. And I worked with Shadi on his pitch deck, and I said, man, we got to change it. We got to show the problem in the marketplace, the gap, show the market, just the opportunity, and show how this equates to a return on investment. And he pounded the pavement and talked to everybody and anybody and did incentives, bring me a referral, I'm going to give you more, make you an advisor, sit on my board. And he was able to raise money without a product. Now, that's going to be rare. In many cases, you have to bootstrap and cobble up enough money to invest in your product to be able to show something for people to be able to hold on to, taste, like the whole Dragon's Den thing, right? You go in front of the sharks and you say, we made beef jerky out of mushrooms. I've seen that happen before, and present it and go taste it and put it right to your mouth and see what happens. And the investors go, wow, this is really good. And I believe in you and your experience. And this is my grandfather's recipe. And we love that. If you can do that, then you cobble up the money together to let investors experience. And this is what I did with this mushroom coffee company. I was on the ground floor. I was the initial angel investor. I wanted other people to come in. And what we did is we did taste tests, right? We just did taste tests. First, I needed a taste test first. So we sat through. And so we spent just enough money for the initial run of it. And then we went out, put it out there and let people taste it. The mistake that so many founders make is they do too much of that initial test. They do too much of a run. And I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I've tasted Shadi's previous formulas to his formulas today, and they're different. He's always tweaking the formula based upon feedback because you never know how the audience, your market is going to receive it. I've made the mistake with CPG companies where I printed like 1,000 units of a particular SKU, and they've literally sat there for a year, and then finally I've dumped them out because I've already gone on to the different version. So whether you have to make it in your kitchen, whether you have to go to a commercial kitchen, whatever you have to do to create a prototype and give people an idea. I've had people come and they've sat me down and said, here's our formula for barbecue sauce or salad dressing or chicken marinade. We want you to try it. And I've tasted it. I'm like, man, this is good. We have the recipe for that. Now my mind can go from, hey, let's take a look at what can be done manually. And now it's a matter of just investing in the infrastructure so we can go to scale. It's a matter of packaging. But the hard part's already done in the sense of there's a product and I like it. And if I like it, I wonder how many other people will like it. Let's go research those things. But don't kill yourself and do so much of the product. I see founders going around, CPG, food and beverage founders, trying to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for their first run, and you don't even know if it's going to sell or not. First of all, it's super hard to raise that amount of money for nothing that's been sold yet. But what happens if it doesn't sell? How do you know? So you'd rather lose money up front and just make sure that it sells. Your profit margins aren't there. You can't produce in bulk, and get those taste tests done and then continue from there. Everybody needs to do that. And this is with software. But it's more important because software is super forgiving, everyone. If you just say, oh, they say we couldn't find the button, go into your software, move the button, make it green, make it red, make it stand out, reduce the text, make the text bigger, make it pop up, make it float, make it do a jingle. That is software driven. But you get feedback on a product. Let's say you're making like ice cream and someone says, oh, you know what? It's just way too much vanilla in this vanilla ice cream, vanilla extract. And you dump that in your whole run and you have to go and reset that entire run. That's not going to happen. It's the same way that Japanese car manufacturers ended up dominating American manufacturers for a while. Why? Because they could only produce one car at a time because of the limited space versus an entire assembly line like Ford, and they go produce the cars. And then if they made a mistake, no one liked it, then they got to ditch the whole thing. That whole run of cars didn't sell. Or Japanese manufacturers, like, we made one, let's send it out. And someone says, I don't like it. They're like, oh, we can stop doing that mistake over and over again. It's the same way. Iterative testing, continuous feedback. If you're a CPG founder, and as you do it, get your investors involved, get them to taste, test the first version, and then bring them back and say, we've improved it. We want you to know. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to say, not only is the product improved, but I really like your style. I really like your moxie. I really like the way that you took my feedback and you've adjusted it. And show them the data. Next time, bring 10 people versus just 3 people and 10 people. And 9 out of them go, man, this is absolutely amazing. Keep showing the investors how you're iterating your CPG product, because when CPG products do really well, some of the biggest companies in the world are CPG products, are food products, right? Everybody needs food. It's just so competitive. And that's the reason you want to go through iterative testing cycles and get continuous feedback.